So a little bit more about Baron Trump and his underground adventures. Yeah, and look, people, it's interesting to read the comments, because I'm listening to it on audiobook. It's for free on YouTube. It's just very long. But Baron Trump didn't write this. This was written in like 1836 or 63. And everybody says, but it's Baron Trump. It's little Baron Trump. Yeah, but, and yes, the picture looks like Baron, which it's all odd. And most people would say, oh, it's a fake. No, it's in the public domain. So it was really written back then. So were the other books that Ingersoll Lockwood wrote. But Baron Trump is also his name is Sebastián Von Troomp. Sebastián Von Troomp, but he goes by Baron Trump. So in the book Little Baron, and the Baron, currently is not little. But what's interesting, okay, as I listen to it more, is that at every civilization underground that little Baron Trump and his dog Bulger go to, is that they orchestrate peace deals. Sort of. Baron helps them figure out problems. So like the first civilization he goes into is the giants, okay? And the giants, everything's disproportionate. They're giants, and they have rivalry with other giants. And so Baron brings them together, and he learns from them. Every civilization he goes to, he learns from them, and they learn from him. And what's interesting about this is that, too, what I started thinking about is how, the globalists, they don't want you to dig, right? They don't want you to frack. They want to put you in a surveillance state, which they've done that, the police state. They want to tell you what to eat, what you can do, where you can go, that you have to drive electric cars, no gas, no fossil fuel. They want to do all this because they don't want you to dig. And it's like, well, maybe because their relatives live within the world. That's what is referred to in the Baron Trump book, is the world within the world. So I just thought, yeah, that's why you guys don't want us to dig, because your relatives are down there. No, not all the civilizations are necessarily bad. It's more just they all have a message. So let me tell you a couple more of the land, the underground lands, okay? One of the, I already said the giants. Then there's the land of frozen thoughts. This one's interesting. Thoughts, ideas, and memories are suspended in physical form. And the inhabitants of this land have trapped themselves in a state of indecision. They constantly analyze all outcomes, so Baron Trump helps them, because this is realizing that although intellectual pursuit is important, it's crucial to take action. That's so true. I see that in nursing. Forever seen that. Like, there's some simple things like, let's just do this and see if it works. We don't need to have a 5-year, study on this. Like, just do this shit, okay? So, like, here's an example. So last night I worked, and so the unit I was on, it's full. And so there's a psych patient that's there for depression and anxiety, and his roommate's psychotic, and that's a new roommate, and he's hovering over him naked, and so the guy's like, no, I can't sleep in here. Well, who could? And so there was no other room, so I had him move his mattress to the quiet room. But Joint Commission was there this week. So it was like, yeah, you can't do that. It's a fire hazard. It's like, no, this is what we have to do. If Joint Commission has issue with that, then Joint Commission shouldn't be inspecting hospitals, okay? Like, these are the things you have to, sometimes you have to just take action because the situation calls for it. But when it comes to that intellectual class, all they ever do is, it's like they never get to the outcome because they never just do it. Like, just some things you don't need to have a study for 5 years on. It's like ridiculous. So that's what Baron Trump helps them balance thought and action. Then there's the world of shadows and echoes. This is one of a very deceitful land, like the shadows can separate from the actual person. And so what's interesting about this world is it's all about identity and self. Is a person defined by their actions, their thoughts, or the perception of others? So, and the one, I think the one that's really just, it's kind of more confusing is the one I talked about in my other video about the land of transparent folk. So they themselves are transparent, their body is. So everybody sees everybody else's heart. I was saying that maybe why these people ended up in down below is anybody's guess. I mean, for the deaf, dumb, and mute, or no, I'm sorry, deaf, blind, deaf, and dumb. This is the Silver Gateway City. These are the people, the make-believe eyes, because even though they're blind, they can see, but they see by feeling and vibration. And they had only seen the sun burn, and they called it the mighty lamp, for 12 hours. So it's like in each of these cases, these civilizations were run underground, whether because of fear or what it was. People say that like it's about time travel. It really isn't. It's really not about time travel. It's, you know, and here's what's even more interesting is in the comment sections, there was this comment. I'm doing research on the 1800 mud flood, orphan trains, and all the fancy buildings with only horse and buggy, and this book starts with massive underground living areas. The timeline they hid makes me question the current date being wrong, and when Jesus said this generation will not pass away before his return, I seriously think we have some huge lies to get through, and this book speaks of things that make me question it being fiction. It's interesting. This comment stuck out to me because the past few weeks I've really wondered about the year. Because if you look at the year, and I was asking AI this a few weeks ago, I had written it down too. I wish I would have had it with me right now. But I said, let's take away, because you know how they have before Christ, after Christ, before Common Era. They have ACD, you know, this was 250 AD. Well, that, I think that was, it's almost like, did they use that? I mean, they say it's because, oh, well, it's the Common Era. Yeah, but if you make it, it's like I had asked AI, don't use AC, don't use any of those things, and make this first year 0, and make it start on the 7th day, which God had finished creation then, because he rested on the 7th day. So then that would be year 0. And where would we be? And it would be like 4,000 something. But then you have to take into account, okay, that, it would be, maybe it wasn't 4,000, maybe it was 2,440, something like that. I wish I had it with me. I have it at home. But see, Moses, those people in the Old Testament, many of them lived 700 years, 900 years. Now, of course, the World Economic Forum and the science they don't believe in any of that stuff. So, but again, there's more evidence for the Bible than there is most of the shit they come up with. But, so that would change things, is what I'm saying. And then somebody else went on to say how Donald Trump's dad, because in this book, Baron Trump's castle is the same address as Trump Tower. So, and then, so somebody else was saying that, no, that some of the books, a couple of them, being that they were close to being written in 1900, Donald Trump's grandfather would have been alive. So, you know, it's like people were saying it's not necessarily about time travel. Maybe it's something that really happened. Yeah, you got to wonder. I mean, Donald Trump does come from a line of kings, so he literally does. His genealogy, again, goes back to King James I. Just saying, you never know.